All right, my friends, so welcome to this video. I'm gonna need you to put everything down because what I'm gonna show you is gonna blow your mind. I got my coffee, I got my Claude open, and I just designed a couple of websites, and I'm freaking out a little bit. And it kind of plays into the fact that for the last 2 weeks, I literally haven't been doing any designing. I've been speaking to AI and it's been doing all of the heavy lifting for me. So I've saved a huge amount of time. But now with the launch of Claude Opus 4.6, this is next level. This is disgusting. Okay, so let's break down step by step. I'm going to give you some prompts that you can use to create things like this. And what's kind of blown me away by this process is that you don't even need to give it inspiration anymore. Claude Opus 4.6's design is so good out of the box. You just have to prompt it correctly and you've got a banging website. So without further ado, let's dive in. So you can see I've got Claude Code open on the desktop app. Now with Claude Code, it works on a local file on your desktop. So the way Claude Code works is that it runs on local files. Now you can set it up to operate on the web, but essentially it's going to access a file in your documents. Now that might be on your desktop, it might be wherever the hell you want. I've got it here in my documents and I've got website test, I've got agentic workflows, I've got client websites, etc., etc. So we're just going to go ahead here and choose website test, and this is where we're going to be building the project in. Now, typically what I like to do whenever I start a Claude Code project is create a claude.md file. Now, this is something that we do when we create multi-site pages, just because it's an extra layer of complexity. And usually with Claude Code, the claude.md file acts as your battle plan, and it basically just keeps Claude on track with the ultimate goal. Now, what we're going to be doing in this lesson, I'm just going to be showing you the raw power of Claude 4.6, just so you can fanboy with me as well. All right, so you can see here, Opus 4.6, and we're just going to go ahead and use a couple of my starting prompts. All right, so you can see my prompts here. We've got a few different styles that you can use, and this prompt list will be below this video, okay? So we're going to create a site for each one of these. I'm going to go in and do the bold and brutalist vibe first. So I'm going to paste that in there. So that's a style. And I'm going to delete that. Please create a website homepage for my CrossFit brand. Okay, simple. All right, let's roll. I mean, what? 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 What the hell am I looking at? So, okay, I mean, look, obviously, we can go in and add some images, but I mean, flipping heck, dude. So, I mean, this is just a one-shot prompt. We haven't given it any references whatsoever. So, I mean, I'm pretty damn sure we could, turn this up a level, but it's got animations, etc., etc. So this has just done a terrific job. And honestly, I haven't seen an AI builder create such a beautiful website in a long time. So what a beautiful advancement we've just experienced. All right, so let's go ahead and do another one. So I want to go for editorial luxury, high ticket consultant, okay? Let's just go ahead and say, I want you to create a website homepage for my brand consultancy. We do live events, we do one-on-one coaching, and we operate globally. And our name is Brave Brand. All right, let's go. So, I mean, we're not really an editorial and luxury brand, but it'll be funny to see what this comes up with, because I've literally run these prompts multiple times through Gemini 3 Pro. So with this exact prompt, we ran it through Gemini 3 Pro, and this is actually what it looked like. Okay, so you can see, not bad. Let's see what Claude does, and honestly, if it smacks it out the park, that's going to be hilarious. My goodness. Guys, what? Oh my gosh. This is insane. All right, obviously the images are, terrible. That doesn't look like me. It hit the brief insanely well. So, you've just got to think about this from your perspective, my friends, of creating amazing websites for yourself, but also reselling this to other people. Understand that if you're literally listening to this right now, you're at the bleeding edge of technology. The majority of planet Earth has no idea this exists, okay? So you're hearing it first. This is like a day old. This technology is probably not going to be mass adopted for at least a year to 2 years. So if you can get this and use it to your own advantage, I mean, you're going to be leagues and leagues ahead. All right. So let's go ahead and make the next one now. Please create a website homepage for my yoga brand. It's an online yoga business. Okay. And then we've got the prompt: organic web design, soft rounded shapes, flowing curves, calm spaciousness, natural textures, gentle transitions. Let's go. Here is the next website. So this is the online yoga studio. Scroll, lovely text animation, classes for every mood and moment. And we've got like even these things kind of laid out, which is fantastic. If someone had all of their yoga flows in here. We got testimonials, and we've got an opt-in form. All right, amazing. Love it. Terrific. And then obviously we can go out and start building out the different steps of the page. But I mean, that is just awesome. All right, let's go ahead and do the next one. All right, so we're going to create a tech SaaS website. So let's go ahead and do that. So I want to create a website homepage for my new software. My software is basically called the Brave Agent, and it is a marketing automation AI agent that helps completely automate marketing for my clients. This is the style I want you to emulate. Okay, so we're going for a bit more of a slightly more in-depth prompt, but let's go ahead and rock and roll. It's going to ask us some questions. Let's push it a little bit and say, let's go for dark and multi-gradient, but I want you to include some animated backgrounds, just so it feels incredibly futuristic and has a huge amount of wow factor for people. And ultimately, it's still a very elegant design solution. Now, what I've been loving about using Claude Code, guys, is that I feel like I am a conductor of an orchestra, okay? I'm doing very little pixel pushing at the moment, right? I'm not going in and doing any fine-grained details and stuff when I'm designing anymore. And we've cranked out multiple websites in the last 2 weeks. And it's almost gotten to a point where I'm creating a new web app every single day. So, my productivity has literally skyrocketed. And this is so fun now. It's probably the most fun time to be a creative, because ultimately ideas that I used to have in the past, I used to be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to pay someone to do this, to do that. And honestly, it's just me, my coffee, and my AI agents cranking out beautiful designs and websites. And so, there's a huge amount of opportunity for you to start getting into this stuff, leverage AI for yourself, for your own business, get into vibe marketing, create 100 articles, create multiple pieces of content, get your message out there, have a place for people to find you. And so if you want support on this journey, my friend, we've got our whole school community, which is literally designed for this. We help you get your website set up, but then we help you write the copy, find the clients, and ultimately start making more money with what you're doing. Because this is, in my opinion, one of the most exciting times to be alive. And especially if you have an eye for design, you have something of value that you would like to offer the world, now is the time to do it. Because you now have the ability to literally command your own army of AI agents, and you are the orchestra. You're not pixel pushing anymore. Technical barriers are not a thing anymore. You don't even have to worry about code, right? You don't have to worry about how to design. You've got Claude, and it is literally waiting for you to start speaking to it and designing and creating cool things. All right, that's pretty cool. I mean, it hasn't gone too crazy, but I mean, look, my standards are now incredibly high, but any other time I'd just be like, this is just next level. Okay, so I'm really happy with what we've got here. Okay, so let's move on and just do the final site. All right, so all of the other ones we've basically built so far have been HTML, CSS, and JS. I want to go ahead and see if this basically can use React and Framer motion to see if we can match some of the best sites on Framer. All right, so let's go ahead and drop the next prompt. So we've got the high performance vibe, Nike, Apple Fitness, minimalist web design, digital diagonal layouts, ultra clean typography. So I want you to create a homepage for my fitness brand It's a clothing and apparel brand specifically made for runners. I want you to build this using Next.js, Tailwind, and Framer Motion with smooth scroll animations and an incredibly modern hero section. This needs to be and feel like it's worth $1 million. I want this to be a high-end look and feel, and I really want you to completely blow me out the water here. Let's look for the most elegant solution possible. Here's some guidance on the look and feel. All right, so Next.js and Framer Motion is basically just a different coding language, if you will. And usually it's a little bit more animated, a bit more premium feeling. So let's see what it comes up with. All right, so guys, so sometimes it'll come back here and it'll say the thing is running on the dev server, in which case that is what you need to add to your Chrome, but you've got to run this thing. Typically, I just say to Claude, run it for me and give me the link. All right. Okay, so you can see we've probably reached the limit here of Opus. So let's just go ahead and give it some feedback, because I kind of like what I'm seeing, but I don't like how screwed up the design is. It kind of looks like the CSS is not really rendering properly. So let me just go ahead and take some screenshots. All right. So I can see the design, but it looks like the typography isn't set properly and the padding is all scrunched up. It almost looks like the CSS is not actually, being implemented properly. Can you see what the problem is here? Is this a fundamental issue in the code, or is it just the styling not effectively coming through? All right. So seems like it knows what is going on. So let's see what happens and see how it deals with this issue. All right, guys, so it absolutely cooked. You can see it's got the Framer Motion, loads of animation, and it really has pushed the boat out here. This is terrific, isn't it? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just get it to add some images, because I want to show you exactly how we actually get a site like this live, because a lot of people were ripping me on one of my last videos that I didn't actually get it live. So let's do that. I'm going to ask it to add images, and then we're going to host this bad boy. All right, let's do it. All right, Claude, that looks much better now. Thank you. Can you go ahead and add some stock footage images to the website? So there are no placeholders. So that needs to be across the site. Anywhere where you intended images to be, go ahead and add some placeholders, and then we'll begin hosting the site. All right, so we've got our Born to Run, precision engineered running apparel for everyday athletes, Explore Collection, watch the film. So the hero is looking really strong. And then we've got a bunch of placeholder images here. Obviously, we'd want to tweak these a little bit, but I think we're looking good as a V2. That literally has taken seconds. I've barely not lifted a finger. So what I want to show you now is how we host this thing. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. So typically for hosting, we use a website called Vercel. Now, we typically like to use Vercel whenever we've got like animated things. We're using Framer, we're using React Code. We're also using Next.js, because Vercel is the company who actually created that language. So we're going to go ahead and just try and deploy directly to Vercel via Claude Code. Okay, so what I'm going to say to it now is, all right, this is looking good as a version. Let's go ahead and push this to Vercel. Let me know what you need from me to be able to give you access, so you can just send it there and we can start hosting immediately. Okay, so you can see here that because I already have my GitHub installed, I could basically push it to GitHub, then connect Vercel to my GitHub. But what I'm going to do right now is actually do install Vercel CLI, which means I can skip GitHub and move directly into Vercel. The reason I'm going to do this is we've tested a bunch of websites and Vercel actually isn't that good at connecting to GitHub. I've found that loads of the sites are not actually updating. So let's just go ahead with the Vercel CLI. So you can see here that it's going to go ahead and start actually, it just runs the command itself. So I don't have to do any crazy tech stuff. But what I'm likely going to have to do for it is give it a token that will then give it access to my Vercel account. So let's see what happens. All right, guys. So I just go to my projects in Vercel. And you can see here I've got Stride Athletics, and this is my now app that's hosted. Obviously, this is like a slight little animation there, but ultimately this is now hosted on a URL. And now I can connect this up to a custom domain. But I mean, look, I barely touched anything, and we've got a live production ready site that's directly hosted on Vercel. So any single time I want to make any changes to this website, I will just go ahead and do them in Claude Code, and it will be able to push those updates to Vercel. So I've got a live site, and we ain't even had breakfast yet. In order to get this fully production ready, obviously we would need to go in and build the rest of the infrastructure, the pages, potentially add a blog so we could get that sort of SEO pop in as well, adding films and everything like this. But I mean, for just a few minutes in natural language prompting, we've got 5 amazing looking websites that I honestly would be happy to share with clients. Okay, remember that for the majority of the population, they have no idea this technology exists, and I think that you have 1 to 2 years left before general population starts to catch on to this. So there is a huge opportunity for you to go out and start building this for yourself, but also for clients and reselling this as a service. So what's obviously the most important thing when it comes to website design is the copy, the words that you're saying, who you're speaking to, your target audience, etc., but also how to actually market these things. Because understand that, when web design becomes more and more accessible to many people, the marketing becomes the moat. All right, so understanding how to market yourself effectively is so important. And so in our school community, you have access to all of these courses, which essentially teaches you how to build the site, know who you're speaking to, run through research, understand psychology and copywriting, and then ultimately get yourself to a place where you can start selling high-ticket deals to people using AI. So ultimately, the future is in AI agencies. You can deliver great service qualities and great outcomes to your clients and for yourself in a fraction of the time, with a fraction of the amount of work that you can do. All right, like I said previously, I'm literally designing a new website every single day at the moment. Okay, so my production has just gone off. We're not in a world anymore where it's about pixel pushing. It's about orchestrating your own AI agents to build sites for you. So if you want to get access to the prompts, you want to get access to copywriting support, target audience research, so you can make sure that the websites you're designing are actually useful and actually drive business forward for yourself and for your clients, then jump into our school community. All right, so quick recap. That's 5 websites fully designed, and we deployed the most advanced one, and the link will be in the description so you can check it out yourself. So if you enjoyed this video, my friend, drop a comment below, like the video, and I'll see you on the next one.